Today we are doing a fruity and juicy juice on our Huram juicer. I'm Chef Vonda, at rawandwell, and I welcome you to this live video today. So I have juiced all of my oranges in my Orange X. You guys all know about this baby here. And I have these jar glass pitchers that I like to put the juice as I go. So I put half and half in each with the orange juice. The cranberries I washed with some baking soda and with some apple cider vinegar. Get all the yuckies out of there. And we got our green apples. So quick way to cut those is to just go down the middle. I'm a firm believer that the seeds in these apples, all apples, contain arsenic, which does not come out of our body. It accumulates in our body. So over time, you're poisoning yourself. So no cores in our juice, because we don't want poison. We want all good stuff. So I gave you a little bit about juicing yesterday, and basically what juicing does is it gives your digestive system a break. So how does that happen? Well, you go through the juice automatically goes to your blood cells and your cells, and it starts repairing them and nourishing them so they can repair themselves. So you're giving your body a break, and the nutrients are very readily absorbable by your system without having to do any work. It's like drinking water with lots of vitamins in there, and minerals, and all kinds of goodies. So we have our orange juice that's given us a lot of vitamin C. And then we have cranberries that are going to clean our kidneys. And the green apples with the malic acid in them are softening the stones while we're getting ready for our liver flush. So that's pretty much what I do. I like to wash all the fruit, and just as if we were doing anything else, you want to have all your ingredients ready to go when you move over to your juicer, which is what I'm going to do now. So it's about to get a little bit loud in here. Also, what I like to do, and the reason why all my juices contain some kind of citrus. So usually I do my fruit juices with orange juice. I do my red juice with grapefruit juice. And then my green juices, I use lemon and lime, or one or the other, or both. And when I juice, I like to right away put the citrus in the pitcher where the juice is going to come out of this juicer. And the reason for that is that it stops the apples from oxidizing, and the rest of the juice stops from oxidizing by putting the citrus in there. So I'm going to turn this on. It's really quiet, actually. This one works very quietly. And what you want to do when you juice, a little tip with these kind of juicers, or any kind of juicer, what you want to do is you want to alternate your ingredients. You don't want to just do all the apples and then do all the cranberries. You want to start with some apples, and then start putting your cranberries in. So I put them in here because it's easy. It's got a spout on it, and it's easy to just pour them into this plate here, and they go straight down the chute. And you don't even need to really use your pusher that often. It's just a guide to get everything out. And as you see, look, it comes out. This is all the pulp, and it's super dry. So that's all the pulp, and then the juice collects in this container here, and then it comes out this spout when you're ready to get it out. So that's how we do it. And as you can see, this juicer provides a little bit of foam, not too bad, and I'll show you how to minimize that foam when we get this here all full, and we put it into our pitchers. And then from the pitchers, we will put it into bottles, single serve bottles, so they're easy to take with you. And they're ready to go. So usually for me, doing this bulk juice is about an hour process each juice, between getting all the fruit and the veggies ready, and then putting it through the juicer, prepping it, putting it through the juicer, and bottling it. It usually takes about an hour for me, and then wash the juicer. So it's like an hour process. So as you see, this has a little screen. The Huram has a screen, and it just holds. This one really doesn't have any pulp that comes out, but sometimes things like grapes or whatever, it collects a little bit more. So what I do is I take the first pitcher and put it into this pitcher. And then I put a little bit of orange juice here again, so it stops the oxidation from happening. And we proceed with some apples again. Get this going. Usually it's a good idea to turn off your juicer. It's kind of like when you have the incinerator, which triturates the food in your sink, and it goes into the sewer system. It's kind of like that. You always want to have some juice going through it, but I forgot to turn it off. But that's a good tip, because all you're doing is you're warming up this motor here, which at some point will reach the juice. So you kind of want to be quick with this and efficient, so you minimize any heat applied to the juice, because that's what degenerates all the vitamins in there. So as you can see, it just pours out, and there's a little bit of foam, where this doesn't happen with the other juicer. So we turn it off again, and we put it in this one. Same thing. A little bit on the bottom. So you might ask, why doesn't she just put the oranges through the juicer? Just does the same thing with the apples as with the oranges. Well, first of all, the skin, it'll make the juice super bitter. That's the first thing. The other thing is also the white pit is very bitter on the oranges. So I prefer to juice my citrus separately, and then adding it to whatever juice I'm making with that citrus juice. So I always do the two separate. I never run citrus through the juicer. And the last tip is you always want your apples or the hardest fruit or vegetable that you're juicing, you want that to go last so it pushes everything through. I think something got caught up in there. We got to push a little bit and get it going. But as you see, there's like no work really being done. The machine does it on its own, and you don't want to rush it along. So as you can see, this is all the pulp. So this is all the fiber that our bodies would have had to digest. So instead, all the nutrients are in here, in the liquid, because it's gone through a masticating process. So there's really nothing left in here. Some people with the other types of juicers that we spoke about yesterday, the centrifugal ones, they leave a lot of nutrients in there. They're not very efficient at actually breaking everything down and extracting all the juice out as these machines are, and the lay down ones, and then of course the fresh pressed is the ultimate, the best of them all. So also by having the two jars, what I do is I juice it from one jar to the other, so all the juices taste the same. And when you do that, as you could see, the foam kind of goes away. I don't know why, but years of juicing, these are the little things that you learn and you start doing. So this way, every single juice tastes the same. And now what I do is straight from here, I like to put it, this spout, it pours out too fast and it dribbles over, and I like to make it as efficient as possible. I already have, as you see, quite a bit to wash after I'm done with this juice. So what you want to do is then just pour it in. As you see, this pitcher is the perfect one for pouring right in instead of using a funnel and wasting that. And I'm gonna put it all the way up. So you wanna go as far as possible. You don't want any air in there deteriorating the juice. So like I said yesterday, this particular juicer, you could keep your juices for up to 3 days in the refrigerator. And of course, you have to see, if you're just juicing for one person, you're not going to use the amount that I used. I'm juicing for 2 people. So every time we drink a juice, we take 2 out, not just 1. So if you're alone, you could do half of what I did, and it'll last you the same amount of time. But for right now, I'm juicing for us. It smells so good. I just love the smell of oranges and the cranberries and the apples. I wish you had, smell it. Wish you had smell-o-vision. So how long are these juices gonna last me? Who's good at math? It's a pretty easy one. So 2 people, and we got 8 juices, so we got 4 days worth of juice here. But we'll probably drink it way before that. So, how perfect could that be? But I have a little drop in here. Oh, and the other tip is, I do like to keep the pulp from the citrus. I don't completely, when it comes out of here, it has a few bits of pulp in there. And the reason why I do that is because when you juice, so your enzymes in your mouth, as soon as something hits it, start working, and it gives the message that something is coming down to your stomach. So this is a meal right here. So you want to chew it. I know it sounds strange that I'm saying to chew your juice. You don't chew your water. Well, maybe you should, because what it does is it sends the message down to your stomach to start the enzymes in your stomach. They start working because they know something is coming down. So the absorption will be even faster. So these bottles, I didn't buy them. Well, I did initially, but when we first started juicing, there was a juice company that put their juices in bottles, and I used to love it, and it was good for those easy, when I had to work and those special days. But these tops started not working so well, and so I've thrown a few out, and we came up with these. We bought these online, and they just go right on top of the bottle. So this also keeps it, and as you see, it's full to the top. There's no air getting in there, and that's what you want. And you also want to immediately put it in your refrigerator if you're not going to drink one right away. Are we going to drink one? He says yes. So that means, guess what? We're having the juice next. So that's ours. The rest will go in the refrigerator. So, please, if you have any questions on the Huram, let me show you quickly how this comes apart. You want to always unplug your machine first, and then this comes apart. It's one piece, and then this is it's in there, guys. So this is the triturating part, and as you could see, it collects a lot because it just turns, squeezes and turns. And then this is the basket that's in there. So not too many pieces to wash. It's pretty easy to wash, not complicated, and so it's not one of those that you have a lot of work to do. What I do is I rinse it with cold water and very little soap. You want to do cold water, especially if you're doing things like turmeric. It will stain your, over time, it's going to stain, or the first day, and you'll always have turmeric on there. So always rinse things like turmeric. Once you apply water to it, especially hot water, they use that in India to stain clothing, to give it coloring. So it stains turmeric. It stains my fingers when I touch it, etc. So you want to rinse this with cold water and very little soap, and rinse it really well and let it air dry before you put it back together. Because if you don't let it air dry and you put it back together and it's still wet, there's a chance of mold starting in there, even if you don't smell it, but it's in there. And once mold grows in there, then you can't get it out. It doesn't come out by bleaching or anything. It's in there. And this is plastic, so you want to be mindful of that, to not let it sit like this. You want to rinse it right away. If you rinse it right away, it's much easier to clean. What else about the Huram? This you can compost, of course, so it's perfect. There's no nutrients in there, so no, you can't make crackers out of it or anything. It's pointless. It's just fiber that you're putting in a dehydrated product, so it's just going to be even tougher for your system to accept and digest when you eat that. So this is pointless. You just either throw it out or compost it like we do. So I think that's it for today. So that was the Huram. Later on, maybe in a couple of hours, I'll come back and I'm gonna do the pineapple and orange delight that I love. One of my favorites, pineapple juice, and we're gonna do that in the Norwalk. The big guns are coming out later, so if you want to see how that works, I'll see you later. I'll make another announcement in about an hour or two. Thanks for having me. Bye for now.